Nigel, a most professional performance. What's your assessment of that 2-0 win?
Yeah, it certainly was. I thought our attitude from the first minute to the last was absolutely spot on, and to come away and get the clean sheet. Very tricky game today in lots of ways, with Sutton losing the manager in the week, losing the 8-0, the reaction, and made them, I thought, very formidable opponents. And we controlled the game for long spells, but they always have that threat with the set plays and everything. But I thought we dealt with it brilliantly.
Yeah, you had a lot of the ball today, didn't you? What was your intent from the off?
To have the ball and create chances as we try to. We scored 2 good goals. Thought we should have had another one. I thought Davis Keller Dunn got in some very good positions without producing that killer pass or finish. But it was very relieved. We were relieved when that second one went in.
What type of game was it today? Because we're at pitch side now, we can feel the wind and the pitch looked a little unforgiving.
Difficult. The pitch hasn't been as good as it has been in previous seasons, and the wind's blowing straight down the pitch as well. You saw that, a few balls running out of play first half down the bottom end there, so it made it tricky conditions and a tricky game. It wasn't going to be about brilliant football today. We played enough, certainly, but it was a day for sort of Ollie Clark to go and get his foot in and win his headers, which he did, and get his blocks in, and Lewis Brunt in the middle of the midfield. Thought they were as good as we had today.
Were they your standout performers, therefore?
Yeah, very difficult to pick. I don't think we had a bad player today, but the back four and Christy Pym made one magnificent save just before half-time. It would have been a bit of a travesty if we'd have gone in 1-1 at half-time, but it sort of gave them a lift. A daft free kick Lucas gave away, and all of a sudden they get a chance from it, and you might go in all square instead of winning, and it would have been a much more difficult game second half.
The Stags' 2 goals, the first, a brilliant cross from Callum Johnson, and that was a brilliant finish from a tight angle by Stephen Quinn.
It was very tight. I don't think we appreciate how good a finish it was. I think most people would have either headed it into the side netting or maybe back into the 6-yard box where they would have cleared it. So it was a brilliant finish, and it was one of those where I don't think it touched the back of the net, and you couldn't get it in from that angle to the back of the net. So it was an excellent finish, and it's good travelling back.
And the one from Lucas Akins, George Maris it was, who threaded in through, and he made no mistake with that finish.
No, sometimes when you're on your wrong foot especially, put your head down and smash it as hard as you can, and it's gone in off the bar. Great finish. I think Jordan Barry won the ball on the halfway line, just into their half as the build up to it, and it was a relief when it went in. They've always got that threat from the corners and set plays and everything, or anything, a deflection, so it was nice to get that 2-goal cushion and keep the clean sheet intact.
You mentioned it earlier, but I think it's worth highlighting it again. That save in the dying embers of the first half from Christy Pym, his only real save of note throughout the contest, you might say, but it was some stop, that.
It was brilliant. I thought it was going the other way, and he just outstretched hand and just got it over the bar. Even when he got a hand to it, I didn't think it would have enough to get over the bar, but it's just crept over, and that's the frustrating thing. You control the 44 minutes or something like that, and then say one free kick and it can all change, but we saw it through and deserved to.
Davis Keeler Dunn looked determined to get on the score sheet. He had perhaps 2 or 3 opportunities.
Yeah, he did. I thought he got in some great positions, didn't quite produce that. Very unlucky with the one in the first half that hit the bar. It's a little bit wider, and I think it goes in. And then second half he got into some great positions, didn't quite produce that final pass or shot.
And after that second one, really, that sealed the deal pretty much, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. We're still trying to get the third, even in 2 minutes ago of added time. Stephen McLaughlin's put a great cross in, and Oates just headed it over, and we bring Swanee on. It's not as if we're everybody behind the ball. Just professionally see it out, keep your clean sheet intact, and if we can, we'll get a third goal.
Elsewhere, were you encouraged, especially at this time of year, to look behind you in the dugout and see some real strength sitting on the bench?
Yeah, because when you've got these 4 games in 9 days, we're going to need it, and it's important to get people on the pitch. Get Reedy back on after what seems a long time for a 1-game suspension, but he's also been ill earlier this week as well. And then to have Will Swan back after flu as well. Anybody can start, never mind come on, what we're looking at in the subs.
And the Stags faithful behind the goal, another long trip for them today, and they head into the Christmas period very happy, doubtless, of that.
Yeah, I think they'll be pleased that we're at home for a couple of games as well. Those that have made the trek in the last 2 weeks, first of all down to Crawley and then down to Sutton today. I'm delighted we've sent them home with 6 points, because when they spend the money to come down here, especially 2 days before Christmas, a week before, it's very important. I reminded the lads before the game, not that they need reminding, of that responsibility. What
about for you and the players? What does a win like this do for you heading into the the Christmas schedule?
Well, everybody else is winning, so all we've got to do is keep pace with them for the time being, and see what happens. We're on the averaging 2 points a game, which is our aim. So we've got to try and maintain that. 2 big home games coming up, sell out crowds. Can't wait.
Thank you. Happy Christmas.
And you.